Well, hello everybody. Welcome into the locker room, connected by Iris Networks. Mark Packer, along with Austin Price of VolQuest.com, Jason Swain of many media outlets, former Tennessee wide receiver. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Good way to say it.
I like it.
So here we are, just days away from the opener. What are the players thinking at this point?
Let's play someone else besides ourselves.
Right.
Let's hit someone else beside ourselves. I think these guys are ready to go. It's about cleaning up the fine details on offense, defense, special teams, substitution. But I'm sure they're ready to hit somebody else for sure.
Austin, it's interesting. The Tennessee fan base is so much like an SEC fan base, which it is, that by the time you get to kickoff, the win total of expectations is through the roof. Are the expectations unachievable at this point?
No, not at all. I think the common fan, and that's kind of always how I judge it, the common fan thinks, 8-4, 9-3. Now, I'm sure there's a few people that are in their minds twisted this thing into 11-1, 10-2, and maybe even 12-0. But
Yeah.
but for the most part, you're looking at a fan base that thinks, hey, 8 wins is very attainable. That's only happened twice since Philip Fulmer was fired in 2008.
Amazing.
And then 9 wins has not happened since Tennessee went to the SEC championship game in 2007 when they went 10-2. So that's also attainable. But the month of September will tell the tale on whether they can get to 9, in my opinion. If Tennessee runs the table in September, they win at Pitt, they win against Florida at home,
Right.
then to me 8-4 becomes the absolute floor. 9-3 becomes the most realistic of them all, and then 10-2 becomes a possibility. But again, you still have to win a lot of coin flip type games.
Jason, what a difference a year makes. A year ago, Hendon Hooker was the backup quarterback. Joe Milton was the guy. Hendon now goes 31 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, in the running to be, SEC Player of the Year, whatever it is. Is this guy that good?
Absolutely. and it's his team. You can tell. And being at the scrimmages, he's the guy that's getting everyone hyped up and patting them on the backside and telling the offense, hey, this is what we have to do. He's running the show, and he's earned it. He's earned the right by how he's performed, how he's carried himself and handled his business on off the field. But yeah, he was that good last year. I think he's going to have to be a whole lot better this year. As crazy as that sounds, because there's some different pieces I think offensively that's missing. That's going to require him, the Hooker, to be that much better.
So as we watch him play, and there's all kinds of highlights to see of this kid. This is early. What we're watching here was very early against Pitt. Didn't really know what you had. When did we figure it out?
Well, I think you figured it out in the first half at Florida. Now, they hit a wall in the second half, Jason, but, he made enough plays there and then followed that up with the big win over Missouri the following week that, you really started to take off. He showed flashes against, Pittsburgh, and then obviously showed flashes in the first half against Florida. But, on the whole, I think it was really the Missouri game where he really took off. But like right here, he come in cold, having not won the quarterback battle, and was flawless outside of that late game interception where he almost led Tennessee to that come from behind victory.
I'll tell you right now, his footwork has improved, his throwing motion has improved, his accuracy has improved. So I'm expecting him to be better because he looks better just watching him in practice throw the football.
Well, and from the receiver position, not that you know anything about this wearing orange, but the receiver position, you start with Cedric Tillman, who has just as many highlights as Hendon Hooker. But here's Tillman. Here's Tillman. So, Cedric Tillman, Jason, I'll let you talk about this guy. What makes him so good?
When the ball's in the air, it's his. Simple as that. He doesn't get jammed up at the line of scrimmage. He makes the first guy miss, strong hands. His speed, I think, is underrated. If you're a DB trying to guard him, you don't realize it until it's too late when he's behind you. But he's gotten better. He's gotten stronger. He's gotten faster, quicker, and he's more confident. And the chemistry is even better with him and Hendon Hooker, which is even more dangerous.
Yeah, I just think they're a deeper football team. A year ago they were an injury or two away, Jason, from really kind of being in a tough spot. This year, I think if Tennessee had an injury or two, they could survive that. They could survive it in the secondary. They could survive it at linebacker. Last year, they couldn't survive an injury at linebacker. They can do that this year. I think they can survive an injury at wide receiver. there are just certain spots where you're like, they're just a deeper, better-looking football team. Credit the freshman class. They've come in ready to work. Credit some of the guys that didn't play a year ago, like a Jalen Hyatt, who have come in and been really, really good from the bowl game on. And then really even Jalen, he kind of started to buy in the latter part of last year. He's put on weight. He looks like a different player out there on the practice field. So I think this is a football team that's focused, and they really get along. I mean, you just hear that in every press conference they have about, like, there's no I in team, and they're very much a group that is kind of bonded together.
Running back position, is there enough depth there?
Well, that's the question. I think it depends on how well the freshmen come out and play. I know just from watching scrimmages, Dylan Sampson has wowed some people. Justin Williams-Thomas had a nice touchdown run in the second scrimmage. But Jabari Small was just awesome. He's been a guy that has really caught my eye. For him, he has to stay healthy. That's the number one story for this running back group, is him staying healthy.
It's for all of them staying healthy. They only got 4 scholarship guys.
Yeah, for sure. But I think if the freshmen come on early, you feel a whole lot better about this group. And they have the ability to certainly do that. You just wonder about pass protection, ball security, things like that when the bullets really start to fly here in a couple days.
So we're going to take a break here in just a second, but I kind of want to set this up. If you're on the defensive side for Tennessee, what a disadvantage in the sense that the offense wants to go so fast. I mean, you look at the Kentucky game, 46 minutes of possession time for Kentucky, 14 for Tennessee, and they won the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the drawbacks to going with the speed, but at the same time, I think you get plenty of opportunities, and the added depth this year will help this football team not hit that wall in November. I think you just got a different looking group. We're going to have Byron Young on here in a second, and Byron's a guy that changed his body of work from, that third game when he got to enter the season last year up through that Kentucky game of last year. I mean, you look at the last month of the season, there was no more disruptive player on the football field than him. He's had a whole offseason to build. Tyler Barron's had a whole offseason to build. You've got these 2 young kids, Josephs and Pierce, that really look good. Tyree West has brought something to the defensive line. Dominique Bailey's a different player than he was a year ago. It's just a lot more depth, and that helps the defensive unit as a whole.
So as he alluded to, we'll take a break. When we come back, Byron Young will join us for the Food City Player Perspective. Get ready. We're sending Jason Swain over when we come back on The Locker Room.
I like that hat.
The Locker Room is brought to you by Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Iris Networks, Knoxville Orthopedic Clinics, and Exterior Home Solutions.
At Iris Networks, we know that business communication solutions are critical to your success. Since 1998, we've been helping businesses in East Tennessee by providing reliable and affordable high-speed fiber internet and voice solutions. That's why Iris Networks is your Tennessee communications partner. With internet speeds up to 100 gigs and work-from-anywhere solutions like mobile apps, video conferencing, and file sharing, we make sure you can stay connected to your customers and great communities we live and work in. Iris Networks, because just like you, Tennessee is our home.
Football is back, and OEB Law is excited for a season full of big hits and those nail-biting near misses. If you've been injured, OEB Law will come to your defense. Call OEB Law and turn your wreck into a check.
Hey, it's Nick and Jake with the Pre-Owned Patrol at Ted Russell Ford. Here to remind you that we don't just buy pre-owned vehicles, we sell them too. Our pre-owned summer sales bin is chock full of quality pre-owned vehicles. Like late model pre-owned trucks as low as $27,995 and over 80 pre-owned SUVs in stock. From economy to luxury, everything's on sale at Ted Russell Ford. And of course we're buying vehicles. We'll even come to you for a no-obligation trade appraisal. Don't miss our pre-owned summer sales event at both locations at Ted Russell Ford.
Hey, this is UT head football coach Josh Heupel. It's football time in Tennessee. When the Big Orange play, you don't have to miss a second of the action. Before, during, and after the game, just make sure your radios are tuned in to 107.7 WIVK. Or if you're on the go, download the WIVK app and listen anywhere. Your flagship station for the Tennessee Volunteers. 107.7 WIVK. It's a Tennessee tradition.
Do you want top-of-the-line fitness equipment for home, school, or work? New or reconditioned, Dynabody in Maryville has everything you need to build that gym. Used equipment brands include Paramount, Life Fitness, Nautilus, Hammer Strength, and Precor. Reach for the power with Dynabody.
Time now for the Food City player perspective, and I will say this, it wasn't too long ago that when you watch Tennessee practice, they didn't really look like an SEC team. They look like an SEC team now.
Yeah, I mean, they, again, go back to the depth. They just look like a different group. A lot of it is the growth in certain players, the buy-in in the weight room. And Jason, one guy who's had a buy-in, the weight room, off the field. I mean, and we chronicled the story last year is Byron Young, and I know you got some key questions for him.
Oh, for sure. Byron Young here, one of my favorite players. And Byron, the first question is, man, how excited are you to be able to hit someone that's wearing a different jersey color? I mean, you've had to kind of lay off the quarterbacks, can't hit those guys. You've hit your own players, teammates, but how excited are you to be able to strap it up and play against a different team wearing a different color?
I'm really excited, man. Like you said, I can't even go near the quarterback. So this whole camp, I haven't touched the quarterback since probably Purdue game. So yeah, I'm really excited to play against somebody else, on a different jersey.
What's one thing that from the last game last season you said, hey, I want to improve at, I want to get better at, that you feel like you did that and you can see those improvements from fall camp?
Just my craft, man. Just technique, use my hands, getting off the ball. From day one, the first day to now, I can see that a huge improvement. Even the coach said it. Like he was telling me yesterday, just saying I get off and my first step. He liked it, so I felt like that's something that I made a huge step in. That was holding me back a little bit last year. My getting off the ball, 'cause I need to get off the ball, just to affect the quarterback. So that's where it started at, just getting off the ball.
Give me one guy on defense that probably didn't play a lot last year, didn't get a lot of opportunities, that you feel like will play and he's going to have a breakout type of season, and you're excited about his opportunities.
Dominique Bailey.
Okay.
He really the MVP of the camp because, like Coach was saying, this was like his best camp probably, since he's been here. And like last year, he made a huge jump just buying in. Like everything he do, he just locked in. He's like one of the leaders on the D-line. He really is, always trying to be first to do everything, doing everything right. But yeah, definitely Dom.
What do you say when people are like, man, defense, they're on the field for 40-something minutes, last year against Kentucky. I mean, that, it has to be a disadvantage, but, I kind of see it differently, especially if the offense is getting up. It gives you guys the opportunity to kind of make some plays. How do you view it?
I view it the same way. I love getting on the field. Like, to me, just sitting on the sideline, just sitting there. Yeah, the offense, they're going fast, but like Kentucky game, that probably was like one of my best games. And that's because I had a lot of reps, going against their offense. So, like, I don't have no problem with it. As long as our offense doing what they doing, they scoring and everything like that, I don't complain.
How do you feel about the depth there at the front seven? I know there's been a point of emphasis to have more guys in the rotation. That's going to keep, players like yourself fresh, in the fourth quarter. How do you feel about the depth there in the front seven so far?
I feel great about it, man, because last year, like, against Kentucky and Alabama, it was just, at one point, it was just me and Tyler. We were just three of us at Leo at my position, and one guy got hurt, so it was just me and Tyler. And sometimes we were on the field at the same time, so we really didn't have no break. Now, like, at my position, we got like 5 or 6 guys. So, like, and all of them buying in, they listening, like, they doing great. You know what I'm saying? The new freshmen coming in, Josh Joseph, James Pierce, they really, showing up and doing their part. So I'm really excited about, what our defense, could do this year.
Give me the view through your lens. When you are lining up against our offense and you're having to go up against Hendon Hooker, what do you see going up against Hendon? What makes Hendon so good?
Like, it's just the way he played. Like, the offense is so fast and he know what he's doing. Like, it's not like, they're just going out there just doing something. He know what he's doing. He locked in every time we go against him. Like, every time he just ready. Like, just confidence in his eyes. I watch him every time getting the ball out there because he know we're coming. Like, like sometimes, yeah, good on good, but a lot of times, like, them boys, they really be getting out there. So how I see it is that's a great opportunity for our offense just to make plays and score. So I love it. I love it.
Has there been like a defining moment in camp, maybe a day that's very, very hard and you kind of push through and that stands out probably more than another day that you think will help you this football season, maybe in the SEC?
Oh, for sure. Like camp, like mid-camp, that's when it really get pretty hard. Like the beginning kind of easy, then when you get into like that 8th day, that 10th day, that's when it's like, we in full pads, really hot. That's when, you got to dig deep. And, the guys this year, they showed me that, they could do that. Like, you know, it was hard, I'm not gonna lie. You know, we were out there 24 periods, really getting out there, and then we gotta go and play our offense. Then the next day we got a scrimmage, real game situation, going 10 plays straight, not getting no break, you know, every second Hendon getting right back on the line. But I feel like that's building us for, you know, just 2-minute situations. You never know when a team might, you know, second half, you know, they're trying to get about, 5 seconds on the clock, they're trying to hurry up. Same situation. So I just look at it as, you know, that's something that's building us and getting us ready for that time.
A little bit different this year, Byron. Last year, not a lot of people expecting Tennessee to do much. Josh Heupel's first season, so the predictions were 4 or 5 wins. Now, getting a lot of love. I know it's hard not to see it. What's your take, and what's kind of been your teammates' approach to the heightened hype around Tennessee football and expectations? People expecting a little bit more.
You know, the way I look at it, you know, I just say, you know, stay where you at. Because, you know, starting off how, you know, all the hatred, everybody just saying this and that, Coach Heupel told us don't even look into it. So that's the same thing I did. So all that love they're showing, I just, you know, okay, that's cool, but I'm still focused on the main thing. I'm not even worried about the outside noise. Honestly, I don't really go on Twitter that much, just looking at that. So, you know, we just still got the same mindset, just, you know, keep doing what we're doing, don't worry about the outside noise.
Give us your individual goal as we conclude. Give us a goal that you want to achieve individually, team, goal for yourself and the team.
Honestly, I want us as a team, well, as the defense, have the best defense in the SEC.
Okay.
As a defense, offense, I want to have the best, you know, offense. As a team, I just want everybody to give all they got. You know, last year I feel like sometimes, you know, came in the fourth quarter, like starting off, you've seen the games, the whole game we doing what we doing, fighting. Fourth quarter comes, like we died out, we gave up. So this year, you know what I'm saying, just give me all you got. Fourth quarter, game on the line, just, you know, still keep digging deep, you know, give me everything you got. And individual goal for me, I just want to double up what I did last year, you know, perform better. You know, I got all my games this year, no suspension, so, you know, hopefully I could do better what I did last year, you know, just, you know, help out my team.
Well, guys, I got a feeling that Byron Young is going to reach those individual goals for sure. One of the best pass rushers in the SEC and in the country.
I would say so. Big things expected out of him and out of this team as well. And Austin, as we're going to head to break here, an opportunity for Tennessee fans to support Tennessee athletics.
No doubt, with the Spire-led volunteer club, you know, they've done over $4 million for the deals for the current student athletes on Tennessee's campus. Byron's one of them. You know, and it just means a lot to these players to be able to, you know, make some money and then, you know, give back through whether it be autograph signings, meet and greets, commercial deals, coming out here on the locker room, different avenues where they can kind of build their brand and have a chance to make money off their name, image, and likeness. So if you got any extra coin in your pocket and you're wanting to support the players, support the volunteer club.
VolunteerClub.com. When we come back, we'll talk about the SEC. Where do we think Tennessee finishes in the SEC and in the East when we come back on The Locker Room, connected by Iris Networks.
The Locker Room is brought to you by Pilot Company, Ted Russell Ford, Food City, and Lincoln Memorial University.
At Iris Networks, we know that business communication solutions are critical to your success. Since 1998, we've been helping businesses in East Tennessee by providing reliable and affordable high-speed fiber internet and voice solutions. That's why Iris Networks is your Tennessee communications partner. With internet speeds up to 100 gigs and work-from-anywhere solutions like mobile apps, video conferencing, and file sharing, we make sure you can stay connected to your customers and great communities we live and work in. Iris Networks, because just like you, Tennessee is our home.
The Locker Room is brought to you in part by Knoxville Orthopedic Clinics, the exclusive orthopedic provider for University of Tennessee athletics for over 70 years.
Yeah, hey, this is Dr. Matt Rapay with Knoxville Orthopedic Clinic, here to talk to you about some tips to prevent injury in football. First, it's your preparation, whether that's your strength training and your stretching. Those two need to be maximized to make sure we prevent that injury. In addition, you got to focus on your hydration and your nutrition. Those need to blend well to prevent the injury. And lastly, you got to be using the right equipment to prevent injury. All those together have to be put together to keep you from getting the injury that we all want to avoid.
This is the story of John Smith. Not this John Smith, or this John Smith, or any of the other hundreds of John Smiths that are Humana Medicare Advantage members. No, it's this John Smith. who we paired with a Humana team member to help address his own specific health needs. At Humana, we take a personal approach to your health to provide care that's just as unique as you are, no matter what your name is.
I think when you talk about Humana inside the huddle, you gotta start on this team with Hendon Hooker.
You got to start in the huddle with the guy that calls the shots.
You do.
And, I do think Tennessee's in a good spot because I think Joe Milton's improved. I think Joe Milton has a lot of experience, which is not like most backup quarterbacks in today's modern day of transfer. At that position, the one-time transfer. But Hendon is a special guy, and I think you see him throw in some different wrinkles this year, Jason, with his entire game.
You know what a lot of people haven't talked about, and Austin actually told me about this, and then I asked Joe Milton about this earlier. Milton and Hooker are roommates now, so the quarterback room is pretty tight.
No, they are, and I think people thought that Joe Milton would probably hit the transfer portal because of Hendon taking the job and those guys being kind of close in age, but Joe has grown so much. I think from this experience, and he loves it here. He loves his teammates. He's gotten better. He's more comfortable here inside of the offense. He looks really good too. I feel like he lost some weight, chiseled up. He's putting touch on the football. I think Tennessee has probably the best quarterbacks 1-2 punch in the SEC. I mean, you don't freak out totally if Hendon gets hurt. Obviously, Hendon's number one for a reason.
Right.
But Joe's pretty good, man.
Yeah. Well, and again, I think that so many people just started the narrative that he's not any good based off of him, all the overthrows last year. He's still got a lot of talent. It's the coach's job to kind of pull that extra talent out of him. And, last year, Hendon took a big shot, got knocked out of a game. Joe had to come in. That could happen this year. It's happened a lot of years.
So as we're just a few days away from the start of the season now, have we ever seen a time in the SEC where parity is not alive and well? Because you look at it and you say Alabama and Georgia and then everybody else.
It's always been like that, though, when you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, for the last several years, it's been the same way. It's been Alabama and Georgia. There's been a Florida sprinkled in, or
which division has a better chance of somebody winning that division, the East or the West?
The West, in my opinion, just because I think there's more teams. I mean, in theory, a lot of people are predicting the East just because Alabama's so top heavy. But if the right team, if an A&M got hot, they could easily be a team that makes a move. They could also go 7-5 or 8-4 again, and Jimbo will be on the massive hot seat heading into next year. But I don't know. It very much lines up for
Jason's
Alabama
not
and
agreeing
Georgia.
with you. Jason's
I
got
agree.
The
I just think this is easy. I mean, Vanderbilt's in the East. There's your answer. Vanderbilt's in the East. Missouri's in the East. So it's the West. So the West has been a better division for years, and it's tough.
If anybody's going to unseat Georgia in the East, who is it?
It's going to be Kentucky or Tennessee.
That's it.
Yes, I don't see South Carolina being that team. I don't think they're deep enough. And Florida may show flashes, but I don't think that they're talented enough, and they're really thin at the quarterback position. If Anthony Richardson gets knocked out, Florida could be atrocious.
So let's look forward just a few weeks. Okay, week 4. Obviously, Florida is in Tennessee's head. If Tennessee doesn't beat Florida this year, is it ever going to happen?
But how many times have we said that in the last decade?
Well, I understand.
I mean, Tennessee's been the better team in this series.
You look back
for the last 10 years, almost half the time they've been the better team. The Tennessee's got one win in this series since 2004, and that's 2016.
You look back at Florida so many seasons, and you say, "Man, if we could play them now."
Yeah, at the end of the season when they fall apart. But I mean, the same issue that Kentucky has with us, where they have been better than us, but we found a way to beat them. They've had 10 win seasons 2 out of the last 4 years, but we still beat them with the team that didn't have a great record at ourselves. So we got to kind of get over that mental hurdle of playing the Gators, and this is a good opportunity. Playing at home, first-year head coach, you got a quarterback that's established. You got to get this win. I mean, if you want to win 8-9 games, I think the Florida game is very, very, very important.
You got to get by Pitt first.
Yeah.
You got a couple of cream puffs in there in games 1 and 3. Pitt is a top 20 team, number 17 in both polls. Obviously, they lost their quarterback.
Yeah,
You about to get mad at me?
No, preseason polls don't matter.
Sorry.
I mean, there's half a dozen teams that are ranked that lost everybody, and the only reason they're ranked is because they finished last season ranked.
Okay, well, you
So
say
not
it
the
too.
same team.
You say it too then.
And Texas A&M is ranked like, 6 or 7 right now in the AP poll? Why? It doesn't matter. So just go out there, take care of business. And the good thing about Tennessee, you have 2
Vols are always
tough
better.
games.
They're always better with a chip on their shoulder, man. When they're preseason darlings, they're never in any sport.
Okay.
But you got two games early where if you win those, you're going to be, you're going to jump into the top 15, top 20 more.
So let's do this. I'm not into gambling, okay, not into all that stuff. However, the over-under number for Tennessee in Vegas is 7.5. What are our thoughts about 7.5? Do you go over? Do you go under? We'll talk about that in the last segment on The Locker Room, connected by Iris Networks.
The Locker Room is brought to you by Commercial Bank, Humana, E2 Sports, and OEB Law.
Community banking is about location and much more. It's about family. We reside in your community. We are a part of your community. At Commercial Bank, our commitment extends beyond the walls of our branches. It's displayed each day in the opportunities we provide, the money we give back, and the time we commit, all to help improve the lives of the people, families, and businesses that make our communities great. Commercial Bank, life made better.
125 years ago, LMU was born out of the desire to provide opportunity to the underserved, a living memorial to a great president who believed knowledge was a transformative force. Over the decades, we've prepared students for careers in medicine, education, nursing, business, and law, so they can go serve their communities. While a lot has changed over the past 125 years, our mission has not. Values, education, service. This is Lincoln Memorial University.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Costad. Dr. Malone and I here at Knoxville Smiles are here to help you with any of your dental needs, whether it's a routine cleaning, a root canal, or if you just want some advice. Did you know that you don't have to settle for a denture anymore? My team and Dr. Malone are here to help you no matter where you're at and to help you figure out the truth for your dental health. So give us a call or visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com.
Matlock Tire has a reputation for being a little bit old school. We're proud to be known for our outstanding hometown customer service. We've been doing things that way for over 60 years. But Matlock now offers new modern conveniences, such as family-friendly waiting areas, online appointment scheduling. You can even shop for tires and see our current stock right from your computer or smartphone. We invite you to stop into one of our 5 convenient locations or come see us online at matlocktireservice.com. Modern convenience, hometown service. Matlock Tire Service and Auto Repair.
Well, here is your chance to win lunch with the Vols, a first-of-its-kind opportunity. Just go to HillaryFrostHomes.com of Keller Williams. She's partnering up with Spire Sports. The winner going to be announced December the 4th, along with 3 of your friends, you and 3 of your friends. And Spire Sports is going to set up lunch with a number of players, free lunch with the Vols. Okay, so 7.5 is the over-under in Vegas. Is there anybody taking the under?
I don't think so. I mean, Josh Pate at 24/7 Sports, he did like a thing where it was like the
biggest locks.
Well, no, it was like the range was from 10 to 5, and I'm like that. If Tennessee wins 5 games, then the world has come crashing down, really bad, like really bad. So, I mean, I think right now, if you said what's Tennessee, I think they're an 8-4 football team. Could be a little better than that, Jason. I think the floor is 7-5 to start the season. If they go sweep September, the floor is 8-4.
I keep it simple. I'm going over on 7.5.
See, if they start 4-0, which they should, okay, start 4-0, which they should.
The whole state may go to Louisiana.
We're all going to, yeah, exactly. Hey, thanks for making us a part of your night here on The Locker Room, connected by Iris Networks. We'll see you next week to talk about the opener.